Recently, I heard a fairly prominent YouTuber in the video game space going on about how he wouldn't touch Ashley with a 10-foot pole because she's such a racist. Now, I've certainly consumed this individual's content in the past and probably will continue to do so. But I had to say to myself, that's just wrong. But why, you may ask, when so many YouTubers and individuals in the gaming media think she's a racist piece of scum? Well, the answer to that is far simpler than it may seem. But first, let's take a quick look at what Ashley actually believes. She's what I would primarily consider pro-human sovereignty. That is not racism. And while she does hold some of the beliefs and leanings of the Terra Firma political organization, she considers them to be jackals and strayed far from their founding principle. In the confrontation with Terra Firma on the Citadel, Ashley vehemently disagrees with them and their methods. Well, how about Cerberus? She does not like Cerberus. If Ashley were a true racist, she probably would find Cerberus an attractive place to be. But in fact, she's angry and hurt that you would be part of their organization. And if you romanced her, early indications are that's over. In fact, nowhere in the 3 games do you find Ashley wishing ill will or hatred toward any alien species. She doesn't reject the Council while also being suspicious of the Council's motive, and the Council gives everyone very good reason to be suspicious of their motives. In fact, they pretty much scream, "Don't trust us." So where does all this racism commentary come from? Now, I'm sure we've all played the game, and we've all heard that famous line on the Citadel. She says she can't tell the aliens from the animals. Well, the man who wrote that line, Chris Latoile, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, explains that while he might not write it again because of the way it was interpreted, it was not intended as a racist remark. It was merely a way of expressing the world and how she saw it, given that many of these aliens, say the Elcor and the Hanar, are not obviously intelligent species. Take the Hanar. When you see them, do you really see future buddy cop megastar Blasto? And do you really see an Elcor creating the next version of Hamlet? No. You see a jellyfish and an elephant. Once you're introduced to them, then you see them as far more. And hats off to BioWare for the whole Lethal Weapon Blasto parody. And finally, for this line of Ashley dialogue, it apparently, as explained by BioWare, was a glitch that it came up as often as it did. So what's the point of Ashley saying the things she does say? Ashley is the analog for all of us viewing this world. We're not Turians, we're not Elcor, we're not Volus. No, we're humans experiencing the Mass Effect world for the first time. As Shepard, we see things and we take in information. Well, the only place we're going to get that is through our conversations and what we read and experience in the game. Ashley acts as a surrogate, letting us see what humans in general see when they look out at the galactic expanse. Humans got their butts handed to them in the First Contact War, don't have a seat on the Council, and are experiencing a lack of representation, let's say, for the first time. If you don't know there's anybody else out there, and all you have is your world, well, you're central to that. Now you're no longer central, and you have a very small place. That would and should concern anyone. And as the Council does nothing to assuage these concerns, she has good justification. And as Shepard, we the player navigate these new waters, find out just where we're going to come down on things and how we define our character. And this makes Ashley's viewpoint critical to the story. It is neither offensive nor racist. It simply provides a perspective on humanity that we wouldn't otherwise get. We hear Rex making derogatory jokes about other species, and no one cries racism. Turians are certainly antagonistic toward humans, and the Asari generally have that we're better than everybody else attitude. And we have the Elcor and the Volus discussing the Volus ambassador's deep concerns that humanity has cut in line. Why should humanity get a seat on the Council? Why should humanity have a special place when they don't? Should they be run off as racists? Of course not. And in fact, they have as much justification as Ashley does about being worried that humans will be shoved to the side and become insignificant. But no one calls the Volus or the Elcor racist. And that's because they're not human. Ashley's a human, and we humans tend to hold each other to very strict standards, and we ascribe the worst behaviors to someone if we find even the least bit of offensive wording or actions, especially in our modern times. And even when BioWare says, no, that's not what was ever intended, people still go there. Looking at the writing staff for BioWare during those years, they were established writers, well known and well respected, and at no point in their prior history had they shown a propensity to write political ideology into their games. I dare say that's not the case with the current writing staff, many of whom have no fiction writing cred, only writing within the SJW sphere. And given what I've read of Drew Karpyshyn and his previous writings, this isn't something he would put into the game. They were using tried and true writing techniques to draw the player in. But the internet is the internet, and it often takes things way out of context and blows them out of proportion. And that brings me to my final point. The term, "you're a racist," is so toxic, and it's horrible. Nobody wants to be labeled that, rightfully so, but it is so devastating that everyone will shy away from it at all costs. The mere thought of siding with someone who is seen as a racist by someone is enough to make people run in the opposite direction. The term racist has become a weapon, and it is an incredibly powerful weapon. If the social sphere sees you as a racist, you are a pariah, and more often than not, it's easier to simply agree and not look into it for yourself, and certainly easier than standing your ground and taking an opposite opinion. Ultimately, I like the Ashley character. I think she has a very nice arc. She goes from very pro-human to ultimately supporting and is a specter for the council. I wish they had done more to show us this growth and change, but we take what we can get. But what do you think? Is Ashley a scum-sucking creep, or someone maybe you romanced and saved at Virmire? Do you think she has a good arc? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to do all the cool YouTube stuff like pressing those like buttons and bells and subscribing. Thanks for watching.